Hi everyone. Chapter 6. That night in sinister Roman Fort Sinister. Far, far away from Berk, in the sinister Fort Sinister, that's its name, there was a dungeon so deep beneath sea level that no light ever reached it. A dungeon so far away that even the gods had forgotten it existed. Toothless, who was afraid of the dark and of small spaces, lay in utter blackness in a cage so cramped he could hardly turn over. He was crying. "Help! Help!" whimpered poor Toothless in a voice he knew could not be heard. "Help!" Chapter 7. The Nano Dragon. Hiccup woke very early. He had just been having a lovely dream about playing a tickling game with Toothless, and he woke up laughing. For a moment everything was all right again, and he forgot Toothless had gone and reached out for him only to feel the chilly, damp depression in the bed where Toothless should have been. He was instantly miserable again and lay, teeth chattering, under the bedclothes, trying to get up the willpower to brave the cold and get dressed in the still slightly damp and salty clothes that he was wearing yesterday. He gradually became aware that what had woken him was a very faint and tiny singing voice. A reedy little sound, like the wind caught in a cowrie shell, but with an edge of menace to it. The song went something like this. Song of the Nano Dragon. "O human eatness who tried to eat me, great wobbling vomit of repulsive man-flesh. I cannot kill you now, though I would like to, but you will regret this, blubberman. You will regret this in the quiet darkness of the night-time, for I have friends who will itch you into nightmares. Their feet will plough your skin into rashes, and you will sleep no more. O stomach with a head on it, you will sleep no more. O balloon of lard who tried to eat me, man uglier than an exploded jellyfish. I cannot kill you now, though I would like to, but I can wait, flesh dangler. I can wait, ticking in the corner like fate. And I have friends who will crawl with me into your coffin where you are lying, hoping for the quiet sleep of death, and we will eat you, a sad lump of man-meat, we will eat you." Where was this song coming from? Eventually, Hiccup realized the noise seemed to be sneaking out of the jacket that he had worn the day before and left to dry on the back of a chair in front of the fire. And then he remembered the Nano Dragon that he had replaced with the electric squirm and put in his pocket. Hiccup braced himself against the cold, jumped out of bed, dragged his clothes on, and approached the jacket. Carefully, he put his hand into the pocket and drew it out again with a gasp. Not only was there a yucky, warm mess of honey in there, but the Nano Dragon had bitten him on the end of his finger. As Hiccup put the finger in his mouth, you should always do this with a Nano Dragon bite. It helps to draw out the sting. The Nano Dragon flew out of the pocket, fluttered around the room, and landed on the windowsill. The Nano Dragon had spent the night cleaning the sticky honey off his body with his tongue. He was a handsome little beast. He was no bigger than a grasshopper, and he was a gleaming rust red with flecks of charcoal, and the morning sun shone through his gossamer thin wings and threw red and black spots all round the room. Something about the self-importance of the little animal, the arrogance with which he held himself, made Hiccup ask, "Who are you?" "I," squeaked the tiny creature grandly, "am the centre of the universe." Hiccup looked carefully at the very small animal in front of him. "You are?" he said. polite but amazed. You mean you are Thor of Woden in disguise? Thor or Woden, sorry. Thor and Woden, snorted the creature derisively. Fairy stories. No, I am Zigarastica, the living god. I think I'm saying that name correctly. Zigarastica, yes. Hiccup looked blank. Most high and mighty ruler of the Nano Empire, despot of the northern grasses. Hiccup shook his head regretfully. There is Hiccup taking him out of the pocket, and there is the little dragon. There he is, Zigarastica. That's him on the front cover, isn't it? I would say. Yeah, I think that's Zigarastica. You must know about me, piped Zigarastica. Great scourge of the bracken dwellers. Doesn't that ring any bells at all? Nope, said Hiccup. I'm so sorry, I've never heard of you before. I don't know, you humans, fumed Zigarastica, hugely offended. Ignorant as well as ugly. I'm not ugly, protested Hiccup. That is a very rude thing to say. Zigarastica wasn't listening. You're so caught up in your own words, in your own world, that you never bother to lower your fat noses to the ground and have a look at what's going on in the real world. Well, boy with a face like a stinky haddock, you have had the good fortune to save the life of the most powerful being in the galaxy. If you're the most powerful being in the galaxy, said Hiccup, how come you didn't get your nanodragons to come and save you from the big fat Roman? Well, even a living god has his weak spots, replied Zigarastica, and mine happens to be honey. I love the stuff, but the nanodragon cry for help is created by rubbing the back legs together, and honey gums up the noise. It is delicious, though. However, the point is that since you have saved my life, I am honour bound to save yours in return, however huge and stinking and wingless you are. Thank you, murmured Hiccup. With an ugly nose, added the creature, and those brown marks that look like spots. Well, those are freckles, said Hiccup indignantly. Well, they're not nice, said Zigarastica. They displease my eye. But the living god does not forget a debt. In mortal danger, you just have to say the word Zigarastica, and I shall come to your aid. And what on earth could someone as small as you do? Hiccup thought to himself, but it would have been rude to say it. How will you hear me? He asked instead. The nanodragon ignored the question. Just say the word Zigarastica, and I will come. However, be warned, you can call on my most glorious aid just once, and once alone. When I have repaid my debt, you will become just another smelly, repellent human to me, so choose your time wisely. Boy with spots on his ugly nose, choose your time wisely. And with that, the rude little animal gave a last shake of his wings and flew out of the window. Hiccup wasn't quite sure what to make of this conversation. It seemed unlikely that a creature as small as Zigarastica could be as powerful as he seemed to think he was. On the other hand, I do need all the help I can get, Hiccup thought gloomily. At breakfast, Hiccup was more miserable than he had ever been in his life. He couldn't eat a thing. He just sat there pushing his kipper sadly round his plate. His grandfather, old Wrinkly, tried to ask him what the matter was, but Hiccup just sighed. What does a chief feel? Asked Stoic the Vast, seeing his son drooping. A chief feels no pain, father, replied Hiccup glumly. In the middle of the meal, a carrier dragon flew in the window, dropped a letter addressed to Stoic on the table, and flew out again. The letter was from Big Boobied Bertha, the chief of the Bog Burglars. The Bog Burglars were a tribe of particularly fearsome female warriors who lived on an island some way to the west of the Isle of Burke. The Hooligans had a long-running feud with the Bog Burglars, which had started many, many years ago, when the Bog Burglars stole the shield of Hiccup's great-great-grandfather, Grimbeard the Ghastly. Hiccup read the letter over Stoic's shoulder. "Greetings, you fat burglar. I see you have broken the truce we have had for so many years, and wish to make war with us again. How dare you steal the noble heir to the Bog Burglar tribe? You are a thief, and I give you 2 weeks to return our heir to us unharmed. Otherwise I shall declare a blood feud, and we will sail to Burke in all our strength and exterminate the lot of you. It should be easy peasy. You hooligans always did fight like a load of bunny rabbits. Yours very truly, Bertha, Chief of the Bog Burglars." Stoic grew more and more purple in the face as he read the letter. Finally, he came to the end, and with a roar, he tore the paper up into little pieces and stamped on them. He was hopping mad. Stoic was often baity, often shouty, often going off the deep end, but this time he lost his temper. And when a hooligan loses his temper, he really loses it. A hooligan in a rage yells so loudly it makes his ordinary yelling sound like a baby's lullaby. End of part 1.